All right, so we've got Trace Terry from the men's soccer team here for the Zig Zone segment. Trace, thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Talk to me a bit about the offseason. How's that been going?
It's good. I've been up here all summer. I've been playing for the Toledo Villa, and got to spend a lot of time with some guys that have also been playing with the team. And my coach has also been up here, so I've had, good chats about it, and I've been looking forward to my last ride here. So yeah.
Absolutely. I'm really interested in like the Toledo Villa. Tell me more about, the kind of play experience you're getting there compared to the college game.
Yeah. So I would say a lot of summer teams, it's a lot different from college, I'd say. And I've played at Toledo Villa all 4 summers for me, and I've loved it. I've always gotten something out of it. The main focus for me is just to get goals there and keep my fitness and stay focused for the fall.
Do you feel like you learn any things there through that playing that you're maybe not experiencing when you're doing, the NCAA level?
Yeah, I think Toledo Villa helped me a lot with my leadership role. This past year, I was named captain, so it's helped me a lot. And this year, I was named captain for VG, so I feel like I'm prepared and ready.
And that's definitely an important role for you to be stepping into. Some big losses in the upper end of the classes, Kyle Cusimano and Brendan Graves, for example, those guys, departing the team. So, I mean, what does that look like for you to have to, really be relied on as a leader now?
Yeah, I mean, those guys, I've looked up those guys ever since I was a freshman, and definitely miss those guys, but they left a part of them on me. And every year there's a new team, and we have like half our team is gone this year. So, me and my other two captains, I think we're ready, and we're ready for the challenge.
Yeah, and every year you learn something new, as you're saying. Take me through last season a little bit. What kind of things were new to you? What did you learn, and what do you take away from last season, looking ahead to this last one?
Yeah, I mean, last season obviously was a great season, just fell short, but something that I took away from it was just the passion that we had and how tight our group was, and that's definitely something to implement into this season, and I think we're doing that right now.
And how are you making sure that you do that? With the departure of many faces, you're sure to bring in, a lot of new names as well. And how, as an upperclassman, can you make sure that that team's fitting together and maintaining that chemistry?
Yeah, I think the little details what we do at practice, like moving goals, getting the balls, like we all got to do that as a team, and even off the field, we're all together, and we're just trying to build that culture until the season starts, and hopefully make a good run postseason.
Absolutely. And when you talk about building that culture, it's the kind of thing where you feed off of each other's energies and the community. And it really felt like last year, this team had a lot of people really rallying around it, things like that signature win against Western Michigan, making a Missouri Valley Conference tournament run that, I would think a lot of people maybe didn't know you guys had in you.
Mm-hmm.
How do you attribute that kind of community rallying around you?
Yeah, I mean, being here every year, the community has been the biggest part for me. I mean, everyone's just so connected with the team, and I've met so many people, built so many connections, and it's just awesome knowing when I step on the field, especially at Cochrane, that I'm fighting for the team and also the community.
And talk about fighting for the team. Last year, a big part of what was, the primary fighting for your team was just the overall volume and success of you and your teammate Bennett Painter. Kind of a breakout for both of you in a lot of ways. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, great year between us two. I mean, had a lot of fun, but I give a lot of the credit to the team because we're just the two guys putting the balls away, and you know, in big games, it was definitely harder to show up, but we made it happen. And, that's the plan this year. And hopefully more people can step up as well.
And talking about more people stepping up, looking at the rest of that team, a lot of strong defense from the team last year. And, as I said, again, you look at guys like Cusimano, Graves,
Yeah.
those departures leave not necessarily question marks, but, big important roles that were being filled by them. What are you seeing from some of the younger guys or guys stepping into new roles?
Yeah. So the guys that have been here obviously know how big those shoes are to fill. And I think everyone's willing to step up, and including the new guys that are brought in, they know how big of a season it is for us. And for most of them, it's their last ride too. And a lot of guys on our team are trying to make it professional. And I think everyone has the same goal here, that this is our last ride and we got to give it everything.
And talking about making the season as big as you can, you make a really remarkable Missouri Valley Conference tournament run, fall just a little bit short. Is that where the expectation still is get that tournament?
Yeah, we want to win the league, obviously, and then we want to get back at the tournament. And I think there's a lot of guys returning that really want it back. And frankly, there's no one on the team that's won any hardware for the team yet. So we want it.
And the Missouri Valley Conference is definitely, a conference that it's not in like that Power Four conversation, but it definitely, is a stronger conference than it might get respect for. Do you look around the conference and see people like, oh, this is definitely going to be a hard one, or do you go in every time with, we can beat these guys?
Yeah, I think there's a big difference between conference games and out of conference games, and conference games are just a different type of play style. There's more grit into it, and I think everyone on the team besides the new guys know that, and I think it's going to be exciting when the conference games roll around.
Absolutely. Pivoting outside of the actual, BG schedule in the conference a little bit, you personally were selected in the third round by Seattle in the MLS Super Draft. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's been a goal since I was a little kid, and it was very exciting and very grateful that they picked me. But this season I'm not really focused on that. I am more focused on winning for this program, for the coaches, and it's awesome to know that I have a path after. But I wanna get some rings.
And how's that the kind of thing that you can, obviously it's a big deal. Like you said, it's a dream of yours. How do you really focus on putting that on the shelf for now and, focusing on the first goal ahead?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a point in my life where I will be a pro, and going after this season, I plan to play like a pro and treat everything in my life like a pro.
Absolutely. Looking back at last season again, obviously it's going to be frustrating to come up short, even despite as great of a run as you guys had. How do you channel that into something productive and something to build off of instead of just, ruminating on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone knows that feeling. I mean, it was one of the worst feelings of my life, is coming short in that tournament game, and I think we're using all that energy to put it into everything we do, even off the field.
Last year, you had 12 goals and 29 points for the team. Really, really stellar numbers there. How do you think that your numbers, relate with the team's success? Do you think it's a pretty linear thing of, the more you're scoring and capitalizing on those opportunities? Do you find yourself ever falling into roles where it's like, okay, maybe I need to be, kind of assisting it more? I mean, what's that look like to you? What kind of role specifically do you think the best version of Trace Terry fits?
Yeah, I mean, every game is different. Every team is shaped differently, and I think I do a pretty good job of knowing where I need to be, and if that's where the goals come, that's where the goals come. And I think me and Bennett we both played our roles very well, and that's what got us a lot of success.
Absolutely. What would be one thing that you're really optimistic about with, some of the newcomers for this team?
Honestly, this is probably one of the most impressive freshman classes I've seen, including the transfers that are, they got one more year left. Obviously, trust the coaching staff very well, and these are great guys and awesome humans that I've loved to get to know them.
Absolutely. Have you noticed, are the newcomers, specifically like any freshmen, having difficulty with that high school to college learning curve, or have they adapted pretty well?
My freshman year, I can say I struggled with it a little bit. I was a little homesick here and there, but honestly, I think these guys have done a great job at adjusting to it, and they haven't played their first college game yet, which will happen. But yeah, other than that, I think they're doing a great job.
Something a lot of the athletes that I've talked to say is that it's really important to them to be enjoying it.
Yes.
You put so much time and effort into it that if it becomes chore like or like a job, then it makes it harder to be consistently excelling at it. How do you keep that balance of soccer being, something you enjoy, but keeping it like fun and positive?
Yeah, I mean, everything we do, I believe that you have to have fun to do what you love. These guys, these new guys, they haven't adjusted to the level yet, and they're getting there every day. They're getting better and better. But yeah, I think off the field we make sure we have a lot of fun, and even on the field we make sure we're just a tight group. And it can get competitive and nippy sometimes, but other than that, we have a blast.
Absolutely. Is there anything in your day-to-day life that you, do, any, hobbies that take you away for a little bit, or anything that helps you kind of, keep your soccer focus where it is and also kind of keep your, mental in a good place?
Yeah. So I'm with these guys every day. I live with 6 other teammates, and everything I do, I always try to have one of my teammates come with me. But there's little things we do, like even like video games or watching a show together. Everything we do is you want to do it together.
And do you think that togetherness directly parallels the kind of on-field chemistry that you need to maintain?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Is there anything else that you think is really stand out about this team at this point in the off season? Anything you're, specifically excited about looking forward here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this team a lot. I think there's a lot of hungry guys on this team, and I'm excited to get our first game and the other games ahead.
and you look ahead at your schedule, typical conference opponents as well as, the potential to make a tournament berth, what is the one thing you're most looking forward to? Like what, if you had to pick one, game or appearance, what would it be?
That's a tough one because obviously the trophy games are the best, but you got to win games to get to those trophy games. So I honestly, if I had to answer it now, it'd be IUPUI because that's our first game, and then after whoever we play next.